Hello, everyone. We are welcoming you on our webinar. Please use our chat section to make any sign, for example, plus, in order to give us the feedback that you are hearing us and you see our video and our screen with the first slide of the presentation. All good, I see. Okay. Thank you. So let us start, I suppose. And from very beginning, I would like to encourage everyone to use our chat section and question section to write your any kind of questions that will appear in your mind during our presentation. So please feel free to use this section if you have any kind of questions. And in the end of our webinar, of our presentation, we will try to answer all your possible questions. And also there is a functionality of a raised hand inside the webinar platform. So if during the webinar or in the end of our presentation, you have the wish to ask any kind of question and to make a discussion by the voice, please raise your hand, use this kind of functionality of raising hand, and we will unmute you and you will be able to ask any kind of your question by voice. Okay, so once again, please use the chat section and the question section in our webinar in order to ask any questions that you wish during the webinar. Okay, let's begin. I hope you see my presentation and everything is fine. So our topic here and our main theme is omnichannel engagement, 7 additional channels to consider. So we will tell you and discuss with you different topics which is considered to the digital channels that can be used in the pharmaceutical industry and is as a part of the omnichannel approach. It's us, 2 of us now with you in our webinar. My name is Pavel, and I'm head of omnichannel in our company, and Vlada Komarenko is responsible for the digital excellence management, for the customer development, and so on. So in first part will be more I'm speaking, and the second part of our presentation, our webinar, Vlada will step in. So our main objectives on our webinar is to talk about different digital communication channels that can be used in the pharmaceutical industry to engage HCP or even a patient. If we are talking about patient support program, show what kind of features is in each channel, what is the plus and minuses of each digital channel, and how all those channels can work together in the one omnichannel approach. And as the last part of our webinar, we will talk about the content for each channel, how we can and how you can create this content, how you can manage it, and how you can deal with all this kind of authoring and all the content management solution. So as a start of the omnichannel approach, just to understand that we all on the same page, let just a little bit discuss what is the kind of main principles which is behind the omnichannel communication, and what we're trying to achieve as a process when we are implementing omnichannel approach and when we are running any kind of campaigns. So all this, when we're talking about communication and omnichannel approach, all is facing around the sending the right message to the right people in the right time through the right channel within the right context. So if we are good on this kind of things with all these 5 rights, in some cases they're talking about the only 4 rights, in some cases even trying to additionally add some other points here, but mainly we can talk about this 5 rights: right message, right people, right time, and right channel and right concept. So right message is all about the personalization, how personal communication you will create, how it will really correspond to their each user's, each subscriber's need, how good you will be in meaning of their right message. Right people is all about the segmentation. So when you're trying to understand from the very beginning that this particular message, this particular asset is created and designed for this particular audience. So you don't need each time to send all your communications and conduct all your journey to all kind of your audience. You should focus your message and understand that from the very beginning that this message and this kind of activity is for that person. And there's a lot of kind of approach for the segmentation. It's not a topic here to talk a lot about the segmentation, but in general, in a couple of words, it's right people is about segmentation. Right time, it's about the automation. And you know that nowadays there is a lot of kind of possibilities, for example, for using their machine learning algorithms and their data science in order to find out and to let the algorithm find out what it will be the best time and the best day for sending their communication in order to achieve their best engagement level. And the right channel, it's all about the working with the probabilities and analyzing the subscriber actions. So you are trying to understand from the response that you get from the subscribers, is this particular channel good for delivering message for this particular subscriber or not? In pharma, there is a common situation when you are trying to collect your database, getting the consent, and you, I think you're all familiar with that, trying from the very beginning to ask what will be your preferable channel in case of each particular HCP, and they will tell us some information, and you would put it noted some kind of in some kind of attribute in your database. But it's better approach to see on real engagement. So if, for example, the HCP telling you that the email channel is best for him or for her, but you should look on the actual engagement. Did he or she open this email or not? Did he click or she on the link or not? And that will be the best for you, best notification. Is this particular channel is good for this particular HCP? And what context is for consider different kind of external events that is now happening that we should take into account. I think the COVID-19 is the best for all of us, best example of this kind of need of taking into account this concept. Okay, and there is also, in order to, when we're talking about the quantity of the communication channel in all this omnichannel mix, yeah, there is a lot of kind of really good research that is showing us that is in general, when you have 3 and more communication channel in your omnichannel mix, that will be in general really helping you to increase the engagement rate of each subscriber, in our case, for example, of each HCP or in each patient of pharmacist. So you should from the very beginning trying to maximize and trying to use different channel as much as it's reasonable in your omnichannel mix in order to bring more as a wider range of your possibilities when you communicate with HCP, and to increase your level of engagement. Because when you have just 1 or 2 communication channel, you're really tied to only this channel, and your mix is not so strong, and your ability to create this journey not so good, and your possible maximum engagement level is not so high compared to when you will have the 3 or more communication channel. and that's real. It's not just our kind of thoughts and our experience. It's existing on the market research. Okay, so let's dive into each particular channel and briefly discuss all about this kind of channels that we would like to mention here. So first of all, it's email. I think in general it's a well-known channel for all of us. So it's pretty cheap, and by cheap we mean that it's we're not talking about the preparing the content for this channel. We're talking about the this kind of fee or paying for extra or for sending. So when you have any kind of platform, you already for sending emails, market automation platform, or if you use, for example, CRM or any kind of other platform. So from the very beginning, you are just paying for this platform, and you are, in most cases, you will not pay additionally when you send in the email. So it's not there is no difference for you for sending 100 email, 1,000, or maybe 10,000 of emails. So, and also compared to other channel, the email channel has a comparatively low irritability. So the subscriber will open it when will engage with this channel in the time that is convenient for him or for her when he's checking his email box. And also email is pretty good when we are talking about how much information you would like you can actually put inside the email, because there's a pretty big amount of information and different information, text and images that you can put inside the email. But as the disadvantages that we mentioned before, that the HCPs and the subscribers in general checking the email when they would like to check it. So let's have the kind of another side of the medal, that they can really check it not so often. And when you, for example, need to communicate something urgent, or have some kind of instant message delivery, so email and this kind of things not so good. So I think this kind of basic issues about the email is pretty well known for all of us, or for majority of you. But now we also would like to show you a couple of examples of the extended new technical innovations, a new opportunity that there is now exist inside the email as a channel. And we in next kind of couple of slides we will show it a couple of examples. So the mail approach to the email as a channel, so that it should be the main digital channel when you're trying to communicate any kind of your messages, and you should use it, consider to use it as a main channel. When we're talking about digital, we're not talking now about the face-to-face visit. So our kind of webinar and presentation is all around mainly about the digital channels. So speaking with the new technology and the innovation, AMP technology is a kind of new. Initially, it was a Google technology that they are trying to promote, and for not all their kind of post services now is give you this possibility to show this kind of letter. But in general, this kind of AMP technology is giving you and us, all of us, the ability to make different kind of dynamic content, this interactions inside the emails. So for most of you, I think it will be the best comparison when so now we can compare this email with the AMP technology with the e-detailing, with the presentation that is used by the medical representative. So in a couple of in Gmail, in the Yahoo, in a couple of others, Outlook post services, it's now available to use the AMP technology. So of course, this kind of AMP technology is the necessary part here is to to create the special content with this kind of interactable dynamic elements and send it. And your system that you use as a sender, your marketing automation system platform or the CRM system should support this technology as well. Okay, so here's another example of the MP technology when you can kind of collect any kind of these comments, feedback, and so on inside the email, and that will automatically go, for example, to your server, and you can kind of collect this information, this kind of metrics and KPI. Also, some kind of additional example of the MP technologies. So we unfortunately we cannot, due to NDA kind of restrictions, we cannot show you our existing examples in the pharmaceutical industry. So we're just trying to show you some natural examples, but we have kind of the real existing experience in the pharmaceutical with the pharmaceutical industry, with our clients, existing clients, working with this kind of technology. Okay, and the dynamic content. Dynamic content is a little bit different than MP. It's not so. It's also a little bit about technology, but it's also about the knowing our audience and their ability to show different kind of messages, content blocks within the email. So you're from the very beginning creating one email with a couple of blocks, but different kind of this modules or blocks can be shown or hidden due to the attributes of this particular subscriber, and due to his some kind of attributes or his actions. For example, if he opened a previous email, we can show this block, or if he did not open, we can show this block. So these underlined elements in this particular email is changing dynamically due to the different attributes of each particular HCP. So in general, email is we have this one email, but different these parts, modules, and pieces of this email is changing dynamically depending on the subscribe attributes. SMS. Next channel is SMS. So it's comparatively more expensive compared to email channel, because in each particular case, when we send an SMS, we should pay additionally for each particular SMS. It's compared to other channel, compared to for email, we have the lower content capacity because it's only text available here and links without any kind of images, and also the amount of this text is pretty limited. But as a kind of vice versa, as a side of the metal, we have this content pretty easy to create. It's not so expensive when we're talking about the content creation, but the irritation level is much higher than we have this compared to, for example, for email. And also we have very few metrics of the channel itself. In main cases, it's just sent and delivered metrics, but also as a plus of this channel, it's a pretty quick instant delivery with an SMS, and the open the time between send and open is pretty short compared to email, and our open rate is also pretty high. So the general approach to the SMS as a channel, so in most cases it will not be your main channel, is the best practice in most cases to use it additionally as an additional channel when, for example, other channel, email or so, or any kind of other channel is worked not so good with this particular HCP or this particular segment. So going further, the web push notification, it's, in our opinion, one of the most underestimated channel in pharmaceutical industry. Only very few pharmaceutical company using this channel, but it's also have the list of advantages compared to other channel. First of all, it's pretty cheap, so you are not paying a lot for the sending of each particular web push notification. In most cases, it's also billed monthly, for example, or yearly, annually by the quantity of your database, quantity of contacts. Also to let you know that this channel technically is binded to each specific web browser. So when the subscriber, so here you see the screen of the process of sign in. I'm sure you, all of you, as the user, saw previously have seen this kind of screen when some kind of different web portals or websites proposing you to subscribe to this channel. So this here is the process. It looked like. Of course, we need to collect additional database. So, for example, we have emails and phone numbers. It's not enough. We should. It's called token. So we should collect additional token in order to have this possibility to send messages to this particular HCP. And also, this kind of messages is easy to create. And our main approach in general, working with this kind of channel, it's pretty good to work with web portal and with different kind of online content. For example, you can use this channel to engage additionally your database, your HCPs, and your patients to new materials or to bring back HCPs to the web portal. Because it's not the secret, that's pretty common situation in the pharmaceutical market when you create the portal that you have some kind of initial registration, but it's really hard to get in back the users to some kind of push them to go back to visit the portal once again and once again. So here it's look like the message itself, the structure. So we have the ability to send the header here, main text. Under this, we can put this link, logo of your company, and optional, it's called rich media. You can add the image also here, and even two buttons within with the link. So there, this push notification, it's showing a little bit. There's a little difference within different web browsers. So in Chrome, it will look in one way. In the Firefox, for example, it will look slightly different, but mainly at the visual of this kind of messages is looking like this. Mobile push notification. So mobile push notification is in some way pretty similar to the web push notification, but you should clearly understand the difference. So technically and by the experience, the main difference between this kind of two channel, between web push notification and mobile push notification, is that the web push notification is sent by the browser and you will get the subscription within the browser, and it's tied to browser. And the mobile push notification is sending by the mobile application. So user need to install your application, and after that you will have the ability to push and to send this mobile push notification. This channel, it's also pretty cheap. You in most cases don't need to pay additionally for sending this message for this mobile push notification. Of course, as I mentioned before, you need mobile application to be installed into the user device, and it's pretty good and channel for the advanced audience who is living within the gadgets and so on. And also it's pretty good compare, for example, to the, we can in some way compare it with the SMS. It's pretty good for this instant quick messaging and to get additional engagement to your application if you have some kind of this application. So our kind of general recommendation and general approach in most cases to use this kind of channel as much as possible, but you should understand that there is a kind of this limit and border that we should not cross in order to not irritate our audience, because you maybe is when you remember yourself as a user of different kind of application, that you install into your device. So if some application sending you too much messages, and this messages is not so valuable for you, you will just go to your phone and your device setup, and you will just switch off the all kind of notification from that application. So in order to not get into this position of switched off notification, so not irritate your audience too much. Okay, there are other next, our fifth channel is webinars. I think you are all more or less familiar with this kind of webinars as a channel. It's one of the best solution, one of the best channel for the kind of complicated, comprehensive communication. So you can, for example, if you have the kind of pretty not so simple, not so straightforward messages, agenda, and facts, different kind of research, for example, different kind of really heavy scientific information that you would like to share with your audience, webinar is pretty good for that. And also the webinar gives you the ability to get the direct feedback by voice, for example, or by chat with your attendees. So please use it. You can really use it. And also the effectiveness and the cost of the webinar is pretty vary from case to cases. It depends on your content, your frequency, how often you're conducting these webinars, and if we will try to give you the general. There is of course no kind of universe success formula, but in general you can use as a main kind of formula for conducting your webinars that you should have the really valuable and some kind of advanced topic, advanced theme, and to any kind of this expert, any kind of the key opinion leader that will share this information with your audience. And also, other point is to you can use this channel with different kind of the journeys. When you have a lot of channels in your mix, so you can use a lot of these channels in order to bring the audience to their webinars. So general approach and general recommendation is to use it every time this webinar when you have any kind of important, valuable information that you can share with your audience. Messengers. There's plenty of messengers kind of in the world. I think you are familiar with main of them. WhatsApp, Facebook messengers, and any kind of other messengers which is specific for each region. So for example, in China it's WeChat, in Korea it's South Korea it's Kakao Talk, it's in the Japan it's Line, and it is the capability of this channel and the information that you can put inside the channel is a little bit different when we're talking about different channels, but in general the cost of each message in this channel it's cheaper compared to the SMS. In general, in most cases you can put here the text, something about the 1,000 characters. It's also vary from messenger to messengers. You can also put here a button with a link, and also picture is available. And compared to other channel, the interaction level is pretty high when we're talking about the different messengers. And also I think you are all known that the chatbot technology is available for you when you use messengers. So chatbot, I think in all, maybe not all, but in most cases, chatbot technology is available when we're using any kind of messages. And also you should consider that in some messenger, especially in when we're talking about the WhatsApp, but also when we're talking about the Facebook Messenger, there is some restrictions when we're talking about what kind of information yeah, you can legally send through this messenger, through the channel. So one kind of situation is your MLR process, your legal restriction, but there is additional restriction that it goes from the messenger's side, from the Facebook, for example. So the main approach, general recommendation, is to use this kind of messengers as the channel, as the two-way communication. So not just sending some information to the user, but also to collect feedback from the users. Okay, here you see the map of where this top of the messengers in the world. So here's the list of messengers. As you see, it's WhatsApp, Facebook, and other messengers, which is have the penetration in different countries. Okay, and the last channel that we would like to talk about, that it's also good when we're talking about any kind of web portals and websites, that it's using the pop-up forms. It's also not so expensive. In most cases, you just paying for some kind of additional service or additional technology once that paid for monthly on annual basis, for example, but you should not pay for some kind of additional pop-up forms. And maybe when we're talking about the pop-up forms, the first thing that come into your mind that it's not so good, it's irritating and so on. But today's technology, today's existing services give us a lot of capabilities, a lot of functionality of this kind of smart setup of the pop-ups. So we can put a lot of this kind of setups, this conditions when we will show this particular pop-up. So for this kind of user, we will not show it. For this user, we will show it. If he registered and spent, for example, 5 minutes in our page, we will show it. If he did not spend 5 minutes, we will not show it, and so on. And also, it's a really good channel to collect additional information. For example, if you don't know of course, it's a little bit corresponding to your legal issue. Do you have this kind of legal capability to collect that information? But in general, technically speaking, we have this opportunity to collect additional information about their subscribers, about our users, about the HCP. For example, if we don't know his preferences on any kind of information, we can ask them on our side. For example, we can ask, do you prefer to get more scientific or more maybe video content, more emotional content, and so on. And also we can get additional different kind of feedback, service, and so on from our HCPs to make our communication, to make our portals, to make our face-to-face visits better. Just ask our users, and you will get a lot of information. And also, if it's also legally possible for you to collect consent and to collect information not only by physical way, but you also can consider to collect additional users within their using their pop-up forms when we're talking about different kind of landing pages and web portals. So our general recommendation, general approach is to reasonably use it on web portal to get additional information about users. So that's all when we're talking about the 7 channels. And here's the main question: how we can kind of use this all this channel together? And the main, and actually the only one really good answer here is to create a journey. Create a journey when you're trying to set up and trying to, from the very beginning, trying to think about your mix. So generally speaking, when we're talking about the journey, what is journey in our sense? Journey is a built scenario of this kind of interaction with your subscriber, with the user, with all the set of channels that you already have. And you remember that from the very beginning, we told you the recommendation that you should have at least 3 or more channels in your mix. And this scenario should give you the possibility to deliver message content to your users and to moving them toward your goals, to achieve your kind of goals through this information. So here's just one of example of these journeys that we're creating. Here's this example is particular for from the tool that is called Salesforce Marketing Cloud. I think that at least some of you is familiar with this tool. So we are working with a different kind of tool, and this is just an example of one of the journey within this tool. Of course, when we're talking about the channels and about the different kind of the journeys, one of the main question that is coming to for us is how to create the content for the channel, how to adapt this content for different channel, how to store this content, how to manage it. So here I would like to pass the next part of the presentation to my colleagues, to Vlada. So Vlada, please step in and tell us about the content.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. So basically in the second part of the webinar, so let me quickly recap the agenda. So first of all, we will actually discover what is the modular content, what might be the stages for modular and dynamic content creation, and of course, what solution do we have for the content orchestration, and actually how we are able to streamline the content production in time. So probably let us dive deep. Yeah, so marketing automation is crucial. So basically, this is a sort of like a common thing that is right now very on here in most of the pharma companies, and of course, due to the situation and world realities that we are facing right now, pharma companies are trying to create the content and adapt it in a more fast way, create more personalized content, and of course they would like to build the efficient approach for the content creation. And due to the pandemic situation, so we are right now knowing that HCPs are mostly like overloaded with the content that are produced by the pharma company, and basically they are having too many touch points to hit the target, but sometimes results might be not so efficient. And in each of the strategy, we must understand that the content is, of course, like the crucial part. And no matter, let's say, due to the situation that we are facing, like the pharmaceutical content needs to be easily adapted, even like to the ever-changing market conditions. And right now, even like in this particular case and the approach that do we have, so it's a sort of like combination between the omnichannel plus the modular approach, by empowering the technology and solution that we have that allows to create flexible, reusable content and adapt it to any channel. And if we are talking about in this particular example, so we do have the platform which allows to work not only, let's say, with the standard channels, but also to combine the commercial and medical side and stand as the form of the connector between the vault and the marketing automation systems, which allows to orchestrate and build this omnichannel journeys. And in this particular scenario, if we are talking about like what might our solution bring and actually how we are able to create this flexible content, so we are able not only to build, let's say, some standalone like content pieces, but create flexible templates, reusable blocks, and dynamic modules. So let us then dive deep. So the core thing that we are building about a couple of years, this is like the concept of the modular content. And let us firstly from the very start just to discover what is actually the module and what is its meaning and how we actually can work with this module to update our content very fast. So the module, this is a certain like entity which might contain from the claim plus supporting, let's say, text and the references which are approved to be used together. And basically, this particular module may have, let's say, different size. It can be a sort of as a fragment or or look like as the whole slide of the presentation. But like the core thing that the module should contain, this is like the meaning. beginning. And in this particular scenario, once we are building the modular content, so we are able to assemble this final content pieces within different channels, and that eliminated, let's say, the double work. Let's say once we have the need to create the e-detailing presentation, the email, the landing page, and then assemble it with the relevant information that might be valuable for all of these channels. So, and this is basically like the core thing and approach, like create once and publish everywhere, a sort of the credo that can highlight the approach of the modular framework. So basically, if we will jump on the next slides, you might be asking, let's say, why I'm actually need this modular content strategy, or what might be the steps of how to start building the modules. So first of all, everything starts from the defining the proper customer engagement model, and of course from the aligning of the brand plan. So due to that, we can highlight the main points on which we should focus our attention on, what goals we are trying to achieve, and of course define the brands for which we are going to create the modules and the template. Also, like on the next step, we are actually mock-upping how our modules might be look like. Those modules are supported with the claims, with the media, with the references, and we are able, let's say, to see how our cross-channel modules might be look like for this particular brand. After that, so just to streamline the process of how these modules might be discovered by the end user, so we are actually organizing and tagging within the depository. And due to that, like no matter, let's say, user either from the global to local perspective, or let's say the user from some local affiliate would like to localize or adjust this particular presentation or e-detailer, so though we are able and we ensure that this person will find the proper content pieces that might match the whole style of the final asset. And if we are talking about the principles and approach, let's say once we are defined the brand plan, we have the modules, we already like define our like strategy and next steps. So we are actually need to assemble our modules in the the entity which is called like the template. So basically we are able to create the master template, either global one or for different channels. It can be either e-detailers or email templates or the landing page, where we are further going to insert our modules to, and then assemble it with the content, with different assets which we might take from the Vault or any other DMA system, and then push it to the system that might be used by our client. And once we are ready with that, so we are actually can just like dive deep to the framework. So basically this is how the process is might be look like in real life. So basically we are starting from the designing, like offering, publishing, and analytics. And on each of the stage, once we are designing our project, we are starting from the smallest entity, like on the level of component and assets, where we are on the very beginning defining the content pieces that might be going to be used during the modules and templates creation. So basically on the level of modules, so we are actually like creating the modules which are coincide with all of the wireframes and guidelines that are in use for this particular brand, let's say. And then once everything is ready, we are just organizing the template, and this final content piece is going to store it and push to the DMA system. So in the DMA system, it can be either Viva Vault or any other DMA system, or even like the DMA system that we have, like which is called Navigate. So basically, this is like the source of truth where our users is going to discover our content and then reuse it, adjust it, adapt it with the help of the content offering solution. which might be our platform, which allows not only, let's say, to build this modular content and adjust or update, let's say, some final content pieces, but also streamline the content production to the target system that might be in use. But in this particular case, so if we are talking about like the content offering, so different players might be involved, like the agencies, the content factory, like let's say brand teams, either on the global or on the local perspective, and of course like the digital teams, all of the like necessary parties that might take some place in the process of the content creation. And let's say once our final content piece is ready, so we are actually ready to publish it to the system which are in use by the client. So no matter which system, like Vault, Adobe, IQVIA, or many others, so we are able to adjust and set up this either direct publishing or exporting to the many systems. And as the core outcome of this particular strategy, we will be able to track how our content, our modules, our templates and assets were actually used by the local affiliates and other markets. So basically we will be able to track and have a sort of like helicopter view on how let's say globally approved content is actually reused by the local affiliates. So let us then jump to the next slide. So basically one of the interesting topics that might be discussed, this is a part with the tagging and classifications. So basically how when it comes to how to the question of how I can find, let's say, the proper asset to this particular brand or to this particular module, as we have, let's say, a ton of different assets which are not organized in a proper way. And in our approach, let's say, to identify the needed module or the asset from the hundreds available, we are applying this approach of proper classification and tagging on the level of the templates, modules, and assets in a sort of like hierarchical model. So basically, the part of the in the progress of the content creation, so we are able the part of the metadata might be splitted on the level of the templates, on the component, and on the modules. And this is basically what we are able to discover, and let's say from stage to stage we are going, let's say, to eliminate unnecessary elements to find out our content properly. So just from this, for example, so let us imagine, so I'm right now working for the template for some particular brand. I've just indicated the certain therapeutical area and channel, let's say either e-detailer or email template. From my perspective, so once I'm defining the channels, so basically with the help of the system, so I am able to find out and search for the modules which are available only for this particular brand, only for this particular channel, and the component assets that might be actually in use due to the conditions that were chosen at the beginning. So basically, due to that, so we are able to eliminate this problem when, let's say, some content is actually might be, let's say, hard to find only, let's say, those approved assets that is going to be used in the particular project. So basically, if we are talking about other part, let us jump to another slide. So one main thing which stands for the asset management. So basically, with the help of our solution and thanks to the integration with Viva, like that we already established within our solution. So basically, we are able to pull the necessary materials directly from Viva Vault Promo Mats, and in the same time, so we are also able to to track the proper versioning of this asset and directly within with the help of the system. So we are actually able to update any version according to their statuses in Vault. So basically, we are able to take directly from the Visor platform during the creation process just any asset that we would like to assemble our slide with. Just go to the special tab, open the digital asset library, and just like take any piece of content that might need it. And once we are done with all of this transformation of the content, we very quickly updated with the help of the approved assets, with the proper tagging and classification, we were able to find out our assets very quickly. So right now we are able to push, let's say, firstly, our content for the approval. In most cases, it might be Vault or any other system, but we are empowered to do this integration. And once we are pushing the content, it's usually it takes just only the few clicks when we are just choosing the system, like to push our presentation firstly for the medical legal approval as a PDF. So in this particular case, all of the metadata is synchronized automatically due to the Vault, and we are actually like mirroring all of the metadata that was previously indicated during the process of the creation of this content piece in Vault. So basically, we are firstly pushing it for the medical legal review very quickly, just without like some technical background. So that might be done by any user. And after our final content piece is approved, so we are basically push the HTML5 format package either to Vault or any other system, like either Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Adobe Campaign, Oracle Logva, and many others. So let us then jump. Yeah, and the biggest like outcome of this procedure when we involve in, let's say, different systems and have one tool for the proper content orchestration. So due to that, we are able to build a complex dashboard with the help of which we will be able to analyze how our content is actually used by the local affiliate. So from global to local perspective, we will be able to track the content reuse rate, channel breakdown, how our content was actually reused in this particular country, and of course, like to track, let's say, the team engagement, plus have the additional like dashboard to understand regarding what amount of budget was actually saved by having the technology at hand. And if we will yeah, just like to sum up the discussion, so basically, if we are talking about the our capabilities as the team, so basically thanks to the integration and our specialists that we have in our team, so we are actually able to keep up with all of the new technologies and adjust our solution very quickly. So due to that, so we are actually received the highest level of certification for Viva. We have more than 150 certified specialists in our hub. The same for the Salesforce and for the IQVIA. So we have more than 50 people who are certified for this particular systems. And just to price it out, so basically due to this modular concept and approach that we are building with the most with many our clients on the global scale, so we were actually rewarded and became the most innovative companies by PM 360. So this is probably a short recap from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thanks all of us that you listened to our presentation. So let us just quickly go through the existing question. So I also once again encourage you, if you after our presentation have any kind of questions, please use our question section in order to ask any kind of your questions. So let us dive in. When you say the best way to approach HCP is to create a journey, so this means we should customize those tools to each one of them as much as possible. You should not customize the tool for the each particular HCP. It's not really some kind of a best way, because you have the pretty big base, you should have some kind of quantity of channels. As we said before, 3 or more channels. You should create the content which is proper for this particular channel, and after that, within the segmentation process, you will choose which of part of the your audience, which segment you will send this communication to. And when you create in the journey, you will create in this kind of path of the different passes within the. So maybe let me just quickly jump to the to our journey. So here you create the different possible passes in different cases. For example, for this particular HCP, you will, for example, just 1 second. Sorry. He will go by this path. So his experience will be like this. For other person, because he has other kind of attribute, the path will be a little bit different. And also the channels that is, will you send the SMS for this particular HCP or not, for example, is dependent on what did he previously open your email or not. So you build in the journey for the segment, the path for each particular HCP, for each particular part of the segment can vary. And you just use all the channels that you have. You don't need to bring some kind of individual channel for individual person, but when you create the journey, you will create this kind of more or less personalized experience for each of them. Okay, let's go for the other question. What about if a local team would like to have such omnichannel strategy? Would it be possible, affordable? Yes, in most cases, when we're talking about the global, so in most cases, the global is providing you with any kind of tools which is rolled out from the global. For example, they'll give you the CRM system, they will give you any kind of market automation platform. So they will do any kind of this pre-existing platform choice or this integration part that we also can help with. And after that, the strategy, the journey building, the communication issues, the content, it's really on the side of the local affiliates. And for example, if talking about content, also our approach, our model approach, and our tool that's called Viseven, helping you to reduce the cost by the localization and the use of the existing content assets. When, for example, global created, and you just localize it to your country, to your affiliate, and you reuse it. So it's pretty, in general speaking, it's pretty affordable for the country to have and to implement omnichannel strategy. You just should understand what kind of authority you have in place according to tools, and what kind of the tools is provided by the global. So pharma companies are closed in messengers, Facebook and WhatsApp. I'm not sure that I can correctly understand your question. Maybe you can a little bit specify it. It's not only Facebook and WhatsApp is most common messengers, because it has a pretty big worldwide penetration. But in any case, if you have some kind of specific local messengers, you also can use it. Okay, do you make a distinction between rep sent email and mass emails? Yes, it's really a little bit different there, but in general, you should try it in bring them together in the one kind of omnichannel mix, omnichannel strategy, in order to give the rep, yes, of course, the possibility to send rep triggered email, but also gives the makes the integration and gives the ability for rep to see what is going on in digital. For example, if you send in the mass mailing, to push this data to the CRM, to the timeline of the contact, sorry, in order to give the rep possibility to see what kind of communication is going on in the marketing automation tool. So yes, there is a little bit difference when you within the approach when we're talking about the rep triggered email and the mass mailing, but in general, the technology, this kind of the new way with this dynamic content with AMP that we showed before can be utilized in both ways, in rep triggered mail and the mass mailing. Okay, I think it's all the question. I think someone has raised the hand. Yeah. Oh, let me just check. So Ivan, we can unmute you. I'm sorry. Yeah, so please, if you have kind of any additional question, please raise your hand and we will unmute you and you will be able to ask it by voice, or also please feel free to add some additional questions to the question section. So, colleagues, any additional questions that you would like to ask us?
Yeah. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, this is Ivan. Ivan Garcia. I have one question. So, in general, all these strategies are great when you work in a global company. But for example, for a small company that works with different partners in different regions in the world, so can you make custom-made journeys depending on the country and the capabilities of each partner per country?
Yes, I think I understand your question. It's really the most tricky part here is the technology itself. So, for example, if each kind of particular partner or country uses different kind of technology, different tool, it's really hard, close to impossible to make this kind of unified infrastructure here for all of you. So, in any case, you should consider to maybe create ecosystem for the partners and give the access, some appropriate level of access to each particular partner for each particular country to use inside your infrastructure. For example, you choose one or a couple of marketing automation platform, you make all the kind of integration, you make maybe some kind of I don't know, advice on the best approach, templates on the omnichannel approach in general, but the country and the partner will be has this kind of authority and local way to make their own journeys. So once again, the core thing here is about the tools and services infrastructure, because you are not able to integrate everything. When the different countries has different set of tools, it's really hard for you to integrate all of them. So in any case, you should find out what would be the best couple of or set of the tools that can be used by all of them. Did I ask you answer your question or not?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So colleagues, please feel free, raise your hand, and we will give you the ability to ask your questions by voice or use our question section. Okay, I suppose we are more or less done by our presentation, by our webinar. So
sorry.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just another question. You didn't mention social media as another channel. Do you also work on social media for delivering the different messages?
Yeah, we work, of course, we work with the social media and deliver the messages. So the core question when we're talking about social media is not the technology, is not the approach, but the any kind of legal restriction. Because as you all of you, I think, aware that when we're talking about RX brands, so it's not allowed to share your information into wide audience. Yeah, you should be you should control whom you are sharing this kind of information to. So if you legally allowed by your legal department to share this kind of information to the wide audience, because when you share it, for example, in your Facebook or any kind of other social media, Twitter, and so you are not you don't have this 100% sure that only HCPs will see this information. So for the OTC brands is allowed in most cases, but when your legal give you this kind of restrictions that you cannot share, that you only can share this information to the confirmed HCPs, so you are not so not have so many opportunities to use the social media because of the nature of the technology, because it's shared in open kind of spaces. Or if, for example, you have any kind of maybe closed group that you are sure, 100% sure that only HCPs, as authorized HCPs is there, you can surely use social media. Or we, for example, have this kind of experience, and for example, Salesforce Marketing Cloud give you the experience from the box to integrate the Facebook into your omnichannel mix and to use Facebook as a channel, not Facebook Messenger, but Facebook as social media.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, I suppose that is all. If you have kind of in future any kind of question, please feel free to contact us as a Viseven by email or by contact to our colleagues, and we will try to give you our consultancy, give us any kind of feedback, and to answer your questions. Thank you once again for being on our presentation, to listen to all of kind of other all our more than half speeches. So we are welcome you to any our webinars in future.
Yeah, thank you all. Yeah, feel free to reach us out. Yeah.
Yeah, stay safe, take care.